Two. Very good evening and welcome into the Fightin Phil's pregame show on the Our Phil's Broadcast Network. My name is Jake Starr, that's Bob McCool, and the man in the middle is certainly someone very popular here in baseball town, the hitting coach for the Fightin Phil's, Brock Stassi. Brock, kind of just to start us off here, I want to go back 2 nights to that 7th inning where you guys put up 8 runs in that inning. As a hitting coach, sitting in the dugout, watching your offense pretty much do everything that it can do to continue to produce, it's got to be a pretty good feeling to have that kind of vantage point.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you have a big inning like that, that was one of our first ones this year where we really blew the doors off the game. It was really fun to see and see guys have success and pad the stats and get the numbers up. Yeah.
2 guys who've had big series this week so far. Carlos De La Cruz, Ethan Wilson. I know put a lot of time, a lot of effort in. You didn't get to work with them last year, but you obviously know of their success. What are you starting to see from them now that's starting to flip the wheel?
Yeah, I think both of them were just putting a little bit too much pressure on themselves early in the season, and them getting their confidence back this week has been awesome to see. And they performed at this level last year, so it's been awesome to see them break out of those early funks, and hopefully they can keep it rolling for the rest of the year.
We talked in the preseason about just how excited you were to get back here to Reading. Now that you're back, now that it's been a couple of months, just how's it feel being back here in baseball town?
Yeah, it's awesome. A lot of memories here, a lot of good memories. 2014, not as many good memories as 15, but no, I loved my time when I played here in Reading, and it's just very familiar. All the front office and all the fans that still come out to the games, it's really cool to see.
Do the players? I mean, I know some of the players realize it, but did they really realize the difference of what it was like when you were here, even last year's team, but what they're experiencing now? How beautiful this place is.
Yeah, I think they are. A lot of the guys who had never been here before had walked through the old clubhouse and seen how tight it was and stuff like that. So, everybody's very grateful and super pumped to have this beautiful new facility.
And when you walked into this facility for the first time after being in the old clubhouse for a couple of years as a player, what was your first reaction?
Yeah, I was speechless. My jaw hit the floor. It's crazy how nice it is. But I mean, that being said, there was something special about being in the old tiny clubhouse, and kind of the team chemistry that year in 15 was through the roof. And I honestly think the clubhouse had something to do with it because there was really nowhere to hide.
I know you don't like talking now about Brock Stassi the player so much because you're Brock Stassi the coach. So I'm going to flip the question around. What would Brock Stassi the coach talk to Brock Stassi the hitter about?
Enjoy the moment and not get caught up in the small things. Don't stress so much about the 0 for 4s and 0 for 5s. Just trust the process and that everything's going to work out the way it should, and keep your nose down and work hard.
So coaches told you that all the time, but now that you are one of them, you got to say it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So a couple of other players that have had some good weeks, neither in the lineup tonight, but Kendall Simmons and Marcus Lee Sang have both produced at a pretty high clip this week. And they're both guys who, quiet Aprils, really strong Mays. Anything you've noticed, anything you've worked on with them that's kind of sparked that recent success?
Yeah, there's been a couple things. I'm very familiar with both those guys. I was able to build a relationship with them last year when I was a hitting coach for them in Jersey. And, with Marcus, it was just about him getting consistent every single day. And he's a big tinkerer, which we all are. And just him understanding that his natural swing is good enough, that he doesn't have to mess with it. And he's been awesome. The work that he's been putting in the cage with his routine and everything, super consistent. It's been really fun to see that translate over to the field. And then Simmons is just about got off to the slow start and then getting him rolling again and just getting his feet wet here in AA for the first time. And I think that was just a little learning curve that he had to jump over that first month. But he's starting to know the speed of the game and the arms that he's facing, and he's plenty good enough to be at this level.
Flip side of that is a guy in Jose Rodriguez who you didn't know because the Phillies organization signed him very late. You didn't even have him in spring training. It was welcome to the season and welcome to one of our new hitters. Right now he's dinged up. He hasn't played the last couple nights. But his approach is a bit unique in the sense that first swing is for the game, for it all. But he has really, I don't know if it's been that way all along, but he's had over the course of the last 3-4 weeks, the approach seems to be as the at-bat, he still does a very good job of extending the at-bats sees a lot of pitches, and changes his approach as the at bat extends
Sure.
and becomes a line drive hitter.
Yeah, he's got the hit ability for sure, and I think the knock when he came over from the White Sox was there was some swing and miss, and not really working counts and stuff like that. So that's just one thing that we've, as an organization, have really been harping to him is like, hey, stick with this approach, stick with this plan, and go from there. And he's really bought in, and it's cool to see it pay off.
As a hitting coach, coming in here this year or your first year in Jersey Shore last year, any specific philosophies that kind of you have, or is it kind of more just things that you've picked up from other people throughout the years?
Yeah, I mean, I like to see guys just be on time for the fastball, because if you're not on time for the fastball, it's going to be really hard to hit the fastball and cover everything else. So I would say the overarching thing that I preach is like we need to be ready to do damage against the hitter. And if he does hang something, go ahead and turn it loose.
One guy that we haven't talked about, my last question for you, is Carson Taylor, who's had an unbelievable run so far this season. Obviously, he is having his best year as a hitter. What do you see from him that he is doing that has made this season different? Or is it just your coaching?
No, I'm staying out of his way. He's got a very, very solid routine when he comes in the cage, very professional about it, and he sticks with, no matter if he went 0 for 4 the night before, is 4 for 4 like he has been plenty of times. It's always the same, and so that's what it takes to be a pro and get to the highest level is staying consistent throughout the course of the season, and that's what he's been doing, and hopefully he can carry it towards the end of the year.
We asked Al Padrique a similar question last night. For you, as someone who coaches in the Phillies organization and someone who's played for the Phillies before in your career, how much attention do you pay to the success they're having at the big league level, and do you feel any sort of a ripple down effect from the success the big clubs having?
Yeah, pay attention to how that team's doing every day. It's awesome to see. It's an exciting time to be a Philly, and Rob Thompson's a big clubhouse guy, big team chemistry clubhouse guy, and so that's what Al is trying to do here, and the approach throughout the organization is good people and hopefully develop a winning culture even in the minor leagues.
That's Brock Stassi, the Fightin Phil's hitting coach. Appreciate you joining us as always. For my broadcast partner Bob McCool, I'm Jake Starr. This has been the pregame show on the Fightin Phil's radio network. We'll take a quick time out, line up some first pitch. Coming up